Hello and welcome to my first encounters at Bathurst, Australia. But to do that properly, I fly in a different direction to visit my US account for my first attempts on this race. This race is, I think it's my second attempt. The first attempt went so. Not really a catastrophe and not really anything to write home about. So let's have a look at this one. And you will probably see me make some weird choices when it comes to gear changes and all that. I haven't watched any guides yet on how to save the tires and pick the right gears out of the corners, so I'm just driving, running wide, missing the apex, cold tires. Luckily, the driver behind me is sort of patient, not trying to do anything, and let me get back into a rhythm down the mountain for the first time. Really trying to just take it nice and easy, upshifting into third as you're supposed to in this car to get the traction out of the corner, and the same goes for this one. I think to preserve the tires it's better to avoid first gear at the forest elbow. I don't know, but I think so. Still a bit slidey on the exit. The GTR is a bit of a beast, but when you get used to it, it's actually fun to drive. I missed the corner, not as much as the guy behind me, but we have completed the first lap, and as you see at the end of the second lap, we have someone serving a penalty, and I am up to P3 for now. I'm still having some arguments with that final corner, and now P4 in the Marlboro Nissan is having a run on me, so I have to get my stuff together now and not mess up all the time. Run a bit wide here, and you probably guessed it, as we enter the final corner, I brake too late. I do it again. It's getting a bit embarrassing, and now he is getting past me. So we are in P4, and I definitely have to figure out some of these corners. Oh, the Brazilian driver behind me almost went for a move, but he backed out in the last moment. I got a bit scared there. I decided to pit, lap 4, the safe strategy. Then I'm absolutely certain the tires will survive. And we get back on track, and let's hope we can pick up some positions again. Get in behind P7, and let's just get on with the race. P7 is about to pit, and as you'll see on my radar, he misses the pit entry. Very common mistake to do on this track. Anyway, I am up to what? P6, P5, P6? I don't know. It looks like a P5 for me so far. If I can just keep this AMG behind me, we should be safe to go. And I think we are just staying on board for a bit here to see if I can keep it together. Let's get through this corner. And I'm catching up to the Marlboro Nissan in front of me. I decided to bump draft him. No point in fighting at this stage of the race. Let's just both get some progress down the track. Get around the chicane. And let's get down to the final corner, which is my nemesis in this race. And as you see, I'm actually just about to run into the back of him. I have to take the escape road, and yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Still getting past some cars pitting. Somehow I am still in P4, and now I'm catching up to the Marlboro Nissan again. He has a moment, but luckily he saves it and he keeps the car to the left, so thank you very much for being aware. And I'm beginning to not mess up that final corner. That's also some sort of progress. And now down the mountain in slow motion. Worn tires, and yeah, it's just a scary part of the track. I'm not really a Bathurst expert yet. I have mostly avoided it. I did it a bit when we had that night to day transition race like 6 months ago, last summer or something like that, I can't remember. But we finished this one with a podium position, and that's
one pair of pants later.
The end of the US server. It's the next day now, and I am on my EMEA account. And this race got a bit interesting, not in a particularly good way for me, but let's see how this turns out. Being careful into the first corner, do not slide. I have got Lawford in front of me, who I race against on a regular basis. He's flashing the hazards. I've just bump grabbed him. Let's work together. But the problem is I can only see a Guinness liveried Nissan GTI. I cannot see the corner, so I brake maybe far too early. And meanwhile, the Mustang behind has a weird connection glitch, which freaked me out. And now I am just trying to sneak around this corner. I might be slow, but I just want to survive while the tires are warming up. Getting ready to get over the mountain for the first time. It's only just recently I've started to figure out how this works. Have to turn the car when the car is sort of heavy against the surface. The front gets light just before some of these corners, and you have to lift off to make sure that the front stays heavy. I get a small tap from behind, which put me off a bit. It's always a risk coming down the mountain with many cars following each other. I lose a couple of positions in this situation. Not really much I can do about it. But let's just get down the straight, and as we get to the chicane, things start to get a bit fishy. Bahamas Racing is off. I try to go around him, but I dip my tires on the grass.
Bring out Janine!
And around I go. Unfortunately, I took out the Italian driver as well. He got caught up in all this mess. A guy who I also race regularly, always a nice guy, so I'm sorry about that, but I was just a passenger at that moment. We are behind the Jaguar now. This has turned into a proper recovery race. We have a yellow flag, so somebody else is having a bad time as well. And this time I almost killed the Jag. Sorry about that. I really have to sort out this corner. He gets all out of shape, but I'm not going to overtake him. That was my fault that he got put off like that. So we just take it nice and easy, let him take the corner, and let's just carry on with the race. I decide in this race to pit a bit earlier. I pit after 3 laps, so I have to do 7 laps on the medium tires, which can be done on a controller. It's far more tricky on a controller if there is a heavy front tire wear, because you cannot really do much about this. When the rears wear out, you can sort of manage it by not downshift too aggressively and pick a higher gear sometimes. And yeah, you have a chance to do something about it. I think the car in front of me, he must be on hard tires, and yeah, I think I am catching up to him. He has had a bit of a moment, so I'm getting really close now. But yeah, I will have to get back to him later. I'm not sure I will make it past him, unless, of course, he bends it, which he does on this corner. Sorry to see that, but I will take that free position as well. We've also got some cars in the pits, and yeah, I'm P8. I started P7 and I am P8, and now I just bin it at the end of the straight here. I just braked too late, and once you are on the outside of that corner, we were just running wide. Down the mountain for the last time, taking it really easy. I haven't got that much life left on my rear tires. The car still feels okay though, but I know whenever there is a left turn, I just have to take it easy. But I get a P8 in this race, and when you think about the crash at the start, that was sort of okay. And then things just started to go downhill. I was in a top split race, started on the wrong tires, forgot to brake at chicane, took out a whole bunch of people, very embarrassing. Then I dropped down to a lower lobby, got accidentally took out by the Porsche, who is right behind me now. Actually, it was an accident, and he waited for me, but my car got stuck in the wall, wouldn't move, so I rage quit that race. So sorry to him for having to wait for nothing. The Mustang went for a send into turn 1, and I would really like to stay ahead in this race. I'm on the softer tires, and if I end up getting sucked into the mid-pack, it will just be game over. The Mustang makes a mistake, and I thought, all right, you're probably giving this up then, but he wasn't. He kept it in. So we are going side by side into this part, which isn't really an option, but I was like, nope, you made a mistake, I'm not giving up this time. Normally I wouldn't have my elbows out like that, but it got sort of important for me to just see if I could stay in front in this race, and if I can break away, that would be just lovely. Let's get around the forest elbow, and then it's a matter of the OP strategy. But if you want to run away, you cannot mess up the downhill section like I almost did there. So now I have P2. He's catching up, he's getting close. I really have to focus now. Let's get around forest elbow, get a proper run, or sort of proper run out of the corner. He's getting close now at the chicane. I'm defending it. You could say, isn't it a bit foolish to defend already on lap 2? But yeah, maybe, but I think I can run away. If I can just stop making those mistakes, I think I can run away. Let's get around turn 1 and down the first straight here. Don't run too wide, Arkis, you fool. He's still there. I'm slow through this section. Almost lost the rear of the car. He is sometimes getting close to me. Let's just get over the mountain as fast as possible. Remember to lift at the right moments to make the car able to turn when you want it to turn. Don't mess up the downhill bit. Have to keep it to the right so you can flick back to the left. Otherwise it will just end up in a crash, because the car is basically flying over that crest. Around the corner, really random gear shifts, don't do it like that. And down the straight again. But as I quickly looked behind, he had a penalty. So all is good, and we're jumping ahead. At this point I saw that the Porsche behind me, he was pitting, and he was on the hard tires, and he did a good job hanging on to me. It could be an actual threat later on in the race, but he got caught up in some traffic, and that was unfortunate for him. I decide now to do a 7th lap on these worn tires. I haven't tried this yet. I haven't tried 7 laps when starting on the medium, so I just hope that they can stay alive. And let's just stay on board. You have to be careful when turning left, because you have a rear right tire wearing out. So like here, you have to be careful. You can see it almost slipping a bit there. Let's get over the mountain. That's not as critical as those acceleration zones out of the more tight corners. This is just still keeping the flow. The front tires are okay, so as long as the car doesn't go light at the wrong moments, things should be okay. Next time I have to be careful is around Forest Elbow, which is coming up in a corner or two. So take it easy. This is slow, I know, but I just want to make sure I don't lose the rear end. I have a healthy gap behind, I hope. Let's go into the pits now. But unfortunately, as I enter, yeah, I cut the grass too much. And we know what that means. As we exit the pits, yeah, damn it. Now I've got a car behind me. He is still out, so he must be out on lap 8 on the medium tires. And he already had the inside. Maybe I should have defended that, I don't know, but I cannot do much about it now. And as you see, his tires are dying. So I thought, oh, he might as well just give it up. But he didn't, and it all gets a bit awkward. He could just have waited until the straight, and then he could have had me. He's the only one really losing time here. I'm serving my penalty, and he comes back past me, but only to drive into the pits. So, yeah, he's the one losing positions. I think I still have a healthy gap ahead, as the Porsche from earlier in the race got caught up in an incident. And now I basically just have to bring this one home. As you can see, I have a nice gap behind me, and I've got fresh tires on. Just have to take it nice and easy and bring the car through my nemesis corner and over the line. And by that, I am about to end the video. Hope you are all enjoying this week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.